Thank you all for joining in. Let's start. So, firstly, I wanted to set the agenda and give some context to what's going on or what's going to happen in the next 50 minutes. But and I also want to invite our guest speaker, Ankit. Just to give you some context, earlier this year, in the last few months itself, we attended the Anaplan Connect here in San Diego, prior to that in Atlanta and New York. And one common theme that we could hear or from everyone we interacted with, whether it's partners or customers or even Anaplan folks, was that Anaplan data integration remains to be a big challenge. Today, still, there are a lot of customers which are exporting their data into an Excel sheet and then importing it into Anaplan. And that's where, I think our team at Polestar had already started the journey on this, building this beautiful integration application, which today we are unveiling here. The application is called Wormhole, and we'll be seeing it live in action, how it can connect to different databases, how it can not just connect data and push it into Anaplan, but also push data back from Anaplan back into those data sources. So with that, I would like to invite our speaker for the day, Ankit. Uh, Ankit is the Chief Technology Officer here at Polestar. He carries more than 18 years of experience, and he's worked and he specializes in the areas of cloud transformation, data analytics, application development, enterprise planning, and of course, integration. Welcome, Ankit.
Hi, everyone. Thank you, Fazan.
So, Ankit, the floor is all yours. With that, I'll go on mute, and whenever you need me, just cue.
Great. Great. So, welcome, everyone. As Fazan said, right, we are here to unveil the tool called Wormhole, which is Anaplan integration utility, right? Now, in Anaplan, we all know the connected planning. Now, in today's time, when the business are moving at an agile speed, every business, right, they need to take very fast decisions. And for decisions, it becomes very important for the planning systems also to be connected and integrated. Now, when we are talking about one kind of a planning, it does not suffice today's business needs. So it has to take inputs from different other plannings and start doing their own planning in a manner. For example, when we talk about a manufacturing industry, the planning of production plans versus your financial plan, they all are interlinked, right? And in Anaplan, the connected planning is very much possible. Now, when we do connected planning, it gives not only a single platform for planning, but it also improves the collaboration and alignment within the different teams. It provides you the access to the data from the planning systems. It provides you agility, responsiveness. It increases the what we call it as the responsibility, accountability of the teams. It enhances the forecast predictive capabilities, streamline the process and efficiencies, and it also is used to perform monitoring and measurement of important KPIs as well as important processes and people. Now, when we do, connected planning, a lot of things are done within the planning system itself, which Anaplan itself is very much capable to handle. But for the planning, one of the very important criteria is to get what is there in the systems, which means the actuals, right? And the actuals can be residing within the ERPs, different kind of ERPs, different CRMs, different HRMS systems, different cloud systems in terms of data lake, data warehouses, in terms of other source systems, which are custom made systems, which are, frequently used in organization. Now, when we have to push this particular data into the planning and then start working on planning, then it becomes integrated and connected planning, right? With Anaplan, when we talk about, there are modes of connectivity which are also available. So the first or the most used uh, connectivity model is Anaplan Connect, where you can download. This is the out-of-box tool from Anaplan itself. You can download the Anaplan Connect, install it on your VMs, and then start pushing the data from your different source systems into the Anaplan with the help of CSVs or flat file. There are different connectors also available, ETL tools like Informatica, Boomi, MuleSoft. There are multiple more ETL tools which have the capability to connect with Anaplan and push the data into Anaplan. Also, there is Anaplan Hyperconnect, which is powered by Informatica on top of the other tools, where you can directly use or you can buy the Hyperconnect from Anaplan and directly start using that particular thing. Depending upon, because we have been working with a lot of different customers, and depending upon the market data, the usage across the industry, what we have found is that the 90 to 95% users of Anaplan are still using Anaplan Connect, right? And rest, 0 to 2% Hyperconnect, 5 to 7% are different ETL tools, which includes your, Informatica, Boomi, and MuleSoft. What are the challenges when we talk about these different integration systems? If you are using Anaplan Connect, one of the major challenge is that you have to do the integration or import or export file-based, right? When we are talking about even different ETL tools, they do not provide you a seamless integration. You have to create different packages of one package for extracting the data, pushing it into a CSV, and then another to actually take up that CSV and push it to Anaplan. So one of the major problem statement is the data that needs to be there has to come into the CSV file, and again into the format which is acceptable to Anaplan. There is no intuitive UI for business users to actually work on that. They have to spend a lot of time in creating those Excel files and then push those files into the specific location, and then they need to upload it. Or the other option of uploading is a manual upload, where they have to go to Anaplan front end, and then they have to upload the files directly. Similarly, when the files are uploaded, right, if it is a manual upload, you get the logs and audits at that moment of time itself, for that moment of time, that how many records have been included, how many records have been imported, but how many are failed, reject, or ignored by the system. These are the things which these tools does not provide on an intuitive manner, right? Security, as we all know, that all the data is being pushed into the Excel files. Now, when the data is being pushed to Excel files, anyone can open that file to see the data. I was talking to one of the customer of mine, which actually wants to do the, workforce planning system, or workforce planning, where they want to involve, they want to include, at the CTC also. Now, the problem with the integration is that you cannot keep your employee level CTCs into an Excel file and give it to a IT team, or per se give it to anyone in the organization, because it's a highly sensitive data. Similarly, when we talk about sales, production, and any of the other systems, the data in the Excel files, they are not as in a secure manner. They are open sources and anyone can access. Whoever have the access of that particular system, or whoever have the access of that particular drive where the data is being kept, they have the access of all the sensitive data, right? Then there is no scheduling available. So for example, if you want to push the data in the night and you are ready with the data today, those kind of a flexibility and a scalabilities are not available in these kind of a systems, be it to be Anaplan Connect or be it to be other systems. Similarly, when we talk about the notification side, whether the task has been successfully completed, not completed, those kind of notifications are not available out of box. Last but not the least one, there is a regular spend of huge efforts in maintaining those Excel files, in updating those Excel files, in if there is a change in the data model, you have to actually update the Excel file also, and then again the maintenance cost included to it. If you have to start working on a new what we call it as new use case, then what happens is you have to create this Excel file from the scratch and then start maintaining another Excel file altogether. So these are different challenges which are faced by the industry when we talk about connecting with Anaplan. Now, how do we solve the problem? Now, when we are talking about solution of these problems, the integration tool that needs to be chosen, it has to be a low maintenance tool which with scalability options, which provides you the data bi-directional data movement. It eliminates the CSV and text file options, has an intuitive UI for non-technical users, task notifications, you have security, transformation and constraining data, scheduler task, and analyze. That's where actually Polestar's integration utility comes into picture, which actually is a SaaS-based offering where you don't have to maintain the infrastructure for that. You don't have to maintain the codes of the different systems. You don't have to do the the CSV file or text file kind of a thing. This particular system has the ability to connect with different kind of source systems, be it to be API based, ERPs, CRMs, HRMS, or even flat files per se. So for example, if there are certain flat files needs to be uploaded, you can upload it through this particular integration utility. It has its own logging and auditing systems where whatever task you are executing, be it to be importing of data or exporting of data, it audits that, plus it provides you the notifications and also logging of that particular activity, right? Now, how do you work in this particular utility? It's a very simple 6-step approach where it starts from creating a task, you give it a name, you select your source system, you select your target system, you do the mapping. If there are certain transformations to be done, you can do that directly on this, review it, and that's it. And you can start triggering the jobs, you can start, scheduling the jobs. So this is how it helps the end users to achieve, their integration targets within few seconds, and then execution is all the things which remains, which you can schedule or manually trigger also. When we talk about the architecture of this particular utility, it has the capability to connect with cloud-based systems from the internet connectivity. If for any reason you have kept your cloud-based systems behind the firewalls, we also have a utility gateway where with the help of the gateway, we can connect to any on-premise solution or any source system which is behind the firewalls. At the utility gateway, it provides a secure one-way integration with the Polestar integration utility cloud, and it does not open any other port. So all the communication is through HTTPS protocol only happening on 443, so that your data is totally secured manner. It is being pushed to the cloud systems. When the data is in integration utility, there is no data storage, and at the same time, it has been pushed to the Anaplan, right? When we're talking about the utility gate, Polestar utility, there is what you call it as a different utility package that comes with the offering that you can install on your VM, and you can open only 443 port to the internet. From there, we will be connecting to your different source systems behind the firewall. So that's the architecture, a simple, straightforward architecture which works. Now, when we connect or when we compare our, the integration utility with others, now, when we talk about Anaplan Connect, which is the most used, it is the problem statements remains the same, that it does not have any user interface. It has only connection with the file system base. It does not provide any logs and audits, no UI, and the bi-directional integration is possible with Anaplan Connect. The other ways, as I said, you can use the ETL connector, but when we talk about the ETL connections, again, the same problem, the log and audits are not available out of box. The ETL connectors are designed in more manner of technical users, not the business users. It has its own heavy costing, which is been which is associated with that. Then coming on to the REST API based connectivity, where you can go ahead and directly connect your source systems with the Anaplan REST APIs, which are exposed. In that, you have to actually the end customers needs to do custom build solutions they need to build out, which actually has a very heavy maintenance cost associated with it. You need to hire another people who will be maintaining these particular systems which you will be which the customers will be building, right? And then maintaining the code base, upgrading of new integrations. So for the first example, if Anaplan changes anything in their REST API, then the customer needs to change their REST API application also to actually keep on integrating with the Anaplan. Now, when we talk about Polestar integration utility, these all of the problem statements are already taken care. It has a business intuitive UI, which we will be showcasing in certain time in few minutes from now. Then we have proper logging and auditing systems. You don't maintain any kind of a code. It's a connector based, bi-directional available, and it has a business user intuitive interface. Now, how do we actually get into the engagement of Polestar utility? It's, as I said, this is a purely SaaS-based SaaS subscription-based product, where we have a basic model or an enterprise model or a dedicated model. Now, basic and enterprise, they actually, depending upon the monthly billing, they shift themselves. So you don't have to worry about these things. And basically, it depends upon the number of records that you are pulling. If it is less than 1 million record, then we charge the customers as per the basic modeling. And if it is more than 1 million record in a month, we charge the customers in the enterprise model. So both basic and enterprise comes under the shared workspace, where it is being shared. But yes, rest assured, the data, because the data is not kept or not stored at any moment of time, so the data is not compromised. The dedicated instances is the instance where the complete instance will be only be hosted for the required customer or the respective customer, and it has its own capacity and everything to manage, and it has kind of an unlimited number of rows you can transfer. Rest of the things, it's a SaaS base, it's maintenance and upgrade, all run by Polestar teams, and everything which is there in all the models, right? For pricing, just write a mail to us or connect with us and we'll come to it. We'll jump to demo. So Fazan, if you can confirm if you are able to view my screen of Wormhole.
Yes, it is.
Great. Thank you. Thank you for that. Right. Now, this is the landing page of Wormhole, Wormhole, where once the customers are logged in, they'll be able to view this particular activity. In Wormhole, you have two types of different users. One is admin and another is a normal user. If an admin user sees all the the task menus, and now normal users, they only sees they only have the ability to create a task and connection. They don't get the users and the gateway things, right? When we talk about the Wormhole, the only important task is to create your import or export task. So I'll directly jump on to add task. Add task, as I say, what you do is that you give a name of the task. You select your source systems. Now, when we talk about the source systems, you have connectivity with, the different ERPs, you have, cloud systems, you have different APIs to connect. you have a lot of different on-premise databases or other kind of a systems, and you also have the access of flat file. For this particular demo, I'll choose my SQL system, which we have. Once it is selected, I can go and choose my source connections, which are already available. As soon as I choose it, it selects it. And from here, I can choose the target to be Anaplan and choose a Anaplan connection. Once this is done, it checks the connection. Once the connections are done, I can go to next, where I can directly go into the tables which are available from my databases. I can choose any table from the table. Again, one of the major problem when we see integration with Anaplan utility is that you have to have the exact same what you call it as the structure of the tables or the files which you have to import. Now here it does not have that limitation, so you can choose whichever column you want to push or don't want to push. Similarly, when we are integrating with Anaplan, we have to use the import action of Anaplan and choosing that particular thing. Once both are chosen, it allows you to do the mapping on top of your used tables and the Anaplan import action. So you can just map it once in the intuitive manner. You don't have to write any code or these things. And again, these are one-time activity. Once these are there, you can actually do the next, or you can also write a custom query where if there are multiple joins or if there are things which are required to do joins on the tables and all those things, you can actually do write a custom query directly on here, which will be executed on the top of your database and other systems, and then it fetches the data accordingly. Once the mappings are done, that's it. You review everything and you finish it out. Once the task has been created, it will tell you, it will take you to the view task page again, where you have your task, what is the source database, source connection, what is the target data says, target connection. Now you have the the capability of scheduling the tasks. You have the capability of triggering the task right away. You can edit the task again if you want to do certain mapping changes, everything. You can directly do that, or you can disable the task. Now, I'll just trigger this particular task, right? As soon as I'm triggering this task, it is executing. And once it is executed, it will give you the, it will push the data from Anaplan, right? Now, we can directly see the from here itself that how much of the job is being executed and what is there and what is not there. So directly from the task log, it tells me that there are 9 records which have been imported. 6 are successfully imported. 1 is a warning, 1 is ignored, and 1 is failed, right? So when we import the data into Anaplan, it has been classified under warning, ignored, and failed. And it also tells you all the 3 record details, that for particular record of the database, what was the error and what happened to it and why it was not exported. In this manner, you actually have this particular logging and auditing enabled so that you actually get to see what is being imported and how much is import, how much the task status was successful or not successful. And accordingly, you can take the action and again re-execute or reschedule the task. Now, it does not, once the tasks are scheduled, after this also you can come and view your previous tasks, logs and everything. Similarly, you have add new connection availability, where you can create your own new connections. You give the connection names and again choose from the list of the connections available, whichever connections you want to create, and save it out. Similarly, when you do the view connections, it shows you what kind of connections are already there and what kind of actions you can take on that. Similar manner, you have the add user capability. So for the organizations, they can add as many as user they want. So to give this particular utility to their end users, so that the end users are capable enough or they are executing their tasks independently, right? Similarly, you can view the users and everything that you have the disable and enable activity and everything. Then in the view gateway, as I said, these two options are with the what you call it as the admins user only. You can add the gateway. Again, this is one-time activity. When you're installing or when you are configuring this particular application, what you have to do is you have to, in your systems, you have to actually get the gateway installed, by which securely we connect and push the data to Anaplan. So you have to register your gateway. You have to take the gateway URL and username password for the authentication. And similarly, you can view the gateways which are already there. Now, there is no limitation on the gateway. If your source systems are discrete and at different places or behind different firewalls, you can register as many as gateway you want and got it there, right? So if, for example, and I'll directly jump to the gateway also. So when we install gateway, what happens is application gets installed on the system, and it's easily accessible from the web URL. As soon as you log in onto the system, it actually tells you which all connections you are there. Now, for example, you want to have a MySQL connection into your from your gateway or from on-premise. You have to just keep on adding the connections. Be it to be MySQL, SQL, Oracle, whatever connection you have, you just have to add that connection, register this gateway once with your once with the application, and once it is done, we are up and running with the systems. So that's and again, I'll just be showcasing if I so this is the notification report also, which we get as soon as we trigger any of the tasks, that which task has been executed, what was the status, how many records have been there, and what was the status for that particular activity, right? I'll just go back.
If you have any questions, please feel free to write us in the chat. So Ankit, here's a question for you. Can this connect with any other sources apart from the ones shown?
Yes. So as a roadmap, what we are doing is we will be keep on adding the new source systems to this. Plus, if there is any kind of urgency or any new source required for the customer, we are open to build that source connectivity also. I hope that answers.
Great. Thanks, Ankit.
Yeah. Hello.
Hey.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, Nikolai.
As I understand, your application Wormhole is hosted on your service, yes? Is it correct?
Yes, it is a SaaS-based offering.
So the client's data goes through your servers. How do you provide like security for the data? Do you have any encryption or something?
Right. So we follow the AES subscription on the data movements and the data. That's why we are connecting through the gateways. The data is not stored even for a minute at our servers. So what we do is we have a proper VPN tunneling with the Anaplan servers and the gateways through which the data is being transmitted, using only and only HTTPS modules. So it does not, allow any other connections to be created other than HTTPS. So through that, we are making sure that the data is secured and independent of every what you call it as the data is not mixed up.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. That's all for my question.
Thank you.
Perfect. So, Ankit, there are two more questions for you. Apart from SAP HANA, can this be connected with SAP other ERP versions?
Right. So for SAP other ERP versions, if you have the RFCs enabled, yes, we are able to connect to those SAPs, for example, SAP ECC. It has its own way of connecting. So we are able to connect to SAP BAPI codes and BAPI APIs, which which can be written in BEX and hosted, or the RFCs, which can be hosted and can be connected.
Thanks, Ankit. There's a additional question from the same participant. Any separate cost involved in AWS S3 bucket posting of the data? Posting of the data. Yeah.
No, so as I said, we charge on only on the number of records processed. Other charges which are there, which are there from AWS sites, it may be, but we don't charge anything on that particular site.
Great. Thanks, Ankit. Just one last question. How does the maintenance part guaranteed? For example, what happens if one of the connections stops connecting through wormhole?
Okay, so the underlying architecture that is there from Wormhole follows it's actually created on Kubernetes and Docker side. So at any point of a time, there is no downtime which is there for our servers. It is actually it is following the Kubernetes and Docker's architecture with which we have maintained, which we guarantee the uptime. I hope that
Perfect.
answers.
Thanks, Ankit. Yeah, I think that was all. Those were all the questions from the audience. So once again, if you have any more questions, you can write to us or reach us to our website. We'll be sharing the presentation and the recording of this, webinar with the audience by tomorrow itself. Thank you all for joining in, and thank you, Ankit, for this lovely demo.